Every supply chain software company right now is telling you that AI is going to fix their operations. And they're half right. AI is going to do part of it. But the brands that actually win, the ones launching more products, protecting margin, scaling without chaos, they figured out the other half, the human half. And today I'm going to show you how to put both halves together. And I'm going to show you a specific sample that's already cutting lead times by 30% for brands we work with. If you watched my last video, you already know about use R&D's videos, the apparel Sampi's video, and the formulated product I setup video. You know why having human expertise physically close to the creation process is the foundation of faster, better product launches. And if you haven't watched that one yet, go watch it first. Link is in the description because today's video builds directly on it. And today we're talking about the tech layer. And I want to be direct about who this video is for. If you're between 1 million and 50 million, pay attention because this is what separates the brands at your level that grow into 20 million, 30 million, 50 million businesses from the ones that plateau. You need to understand this infrastructure before you need it. And if you're already at 15 million and above, this is a conversation I want you to have with your ops team this week. Because right now, brands at the revenue level should not be running an NB process that looks anything what you had at 5 million. Most of them are. The gap is costing you launches, margin, and market share. I'm Lara, 70 years in supply chain, and the companies I've watched pull ahead in the last 3 years, all you have one thing in common. They stopped treating AI and humans as competing options. They built a system where both do what they're actually good at. And here's what that system looks like in practice. Let me describe something I see all the time. A founder hears about an AI sourcing deal, inventory planning tool, logistic tool. Great. They sign up. Now they're running RFQs automatically, comparing supplier faults, getting demand forecast suggestions. Amazing. But then, and it doesn't look right. The color is off. The fit feels wrong. The texture of the formula is heavier than expected. And they're in LA. And the sample is in the studio in the Philippines or a factory in Guangdong. So what do? They ship it, standard shipping, 10 days, or they pay for expedited, $150 for 4 days. Either way, time and money just evaporated. And this happens every single iteration. Here's the thing about AI kits. They're incredible at pattern recognition, data processing, and decision support. They can tell you which suppliers have the best on-time delivery. They can flag demand and anomalies before you run out of stock. They can model 15 pricing scenarios in 30 seconds. What they cannot do is look at a physical garment and tell you if the drape is right. They cannot sit to the customer and read the hesitation in their face when they try a new order. But it's not knock on AI. That's just reality. And the brands that understand this, that AI and human operators are not competing, they're completing each other. Those are the brands building real competitive advantage right now. So the question is, where exactly do you plug them together? Let me show you. Here's one of the most practical and highest impact things we've built into our apparel CE workflow. When we produce a sample in our studio or when we receive a factory sample into our facility, instead of shipping that physical product to the US slide for review, we do something different. We capture it in 3D high resolution array. And I'm not talking about a black photo on a hammer. I'm talking about a photorealistic, rotatable, zoomable digital representation of the physical sample, where you can see stitching, drape, construction, color accuracy, texture, everything. The client, sitting in New York or LA or wherever they are, opens the link and reviews the sample as if they're holding it. They can zoom into the color construction. They can see how the fabric falls. They can check if the colorway matches the tech fact spec. And then they give feedback. Digitally, immediately. No shipping, no 10-day wait, no $150 expense fee for iteration, no 3 weeks of email chains about did you see the sample I sent? The sample stays in our studio. We make the revisions. We re-render. They review again. often within 24 to 48 hours. Now, think about how many rounds of sample review happen in a typical product development cycle. 2 rounds minimum, usually 3 to 4 before you get to a golden sample hidden fruit, especially for apparel. For formulated products, it can go more. Old model, 4 rounds and 10 days, chicken each way, 80 days just in transit, not counting review time, revision time, 80 days just in boxes moving across the Pacific. The new model, 4 rounds times 1 to 2 days digital review, less than 2 weeks for the same number of iterations. That's where the 30% lead time reduction comes from. And in many cases, it's more. I've seen clients shave 6 to 8 weeks of a single product development cycle using this approach. And here's what that means a real business purpose. You launch earlier in your target selling season. Your cash converts faster because your product is on shelves sooner. You can run more product launches per year because each one takes less time. Your key is not burned out chasing samples around the world. The 8 ITs here is the rendering technology, the tools that capture physical samples and translate them into high fidelity digital assets. The human keys is our team in the studio making sure what's being rendered is actually accurate, that the lighting's right, the construction details are captured correctly. Neither one works without the other. The AI rendering tool doesn't know if the Polaris digital file matches the physical padding accurately. A trained eye does. And a trained eye alone cannot beam a sample across an ocean in 24 hours. Technology does that. This is what I mean when I say AI and humans competing each other. The technology does the impossible. The human makes sure it's done right. Now let's bring this same thinking to formulated products. In my last video, I talked about using testing facilities in Asia, especially in Singapore, to cut shipping time and get faster turnaround on stability and efficacy tests. That's the human operational side, proximity to the marketing region. And here's where the tech layer comes in. We're using AI tools to analyze consumer testing data in near real time. When we run user apparel, real people, real product, real reactions, we're capturing structured data, ratings, comments, physical reactions, usage patterns. In the old world, a brand would compile that feedback over a few weeks, synthesize it manually, send it to the formulator, and wait for a new batch. That's a slow, manual, error-prone loop. With AI assisted analysis, patterns emerge immediately if 70% of testers flag the same sensory attribute. Say the moisturizer felt greasy after 10 minutes. That signal surfaces fast. The formulator gets specific structure to that. Not people didn't like it, but this specific attribute at this specific usage stage was the most common diction of faster feedback, more precise reformulation brief, fewer iterations needed to get to a product that actually works. But here's what doesn't change. Humans have to be in the loop because the most important feedback isn't always what people say, it's what they do. How long they spend testing, whether they reached it for a second time, whether they smiled or hesitated. The behavioral layer, reading a room, facilitating the right questions, capturing what's already said, that's a human skill. The AI helps you process the output. The human makes sure you're capturing the right inputs in the first place. That combination is what gives you a product that's not just tested, but validated. And validated products don't come back as returns. They build brand loyalty and they protect your margin at every step of the funnel. Now, let me show you the full picture because I want to see this as a system, not just a collection of interesting tools. Here's what an integrated AI, this human entity process looks like when it's running properly. Stage 1, concept to sample human-led move operators work today to brief the product. We build raw samples in-house, apparel, or formulated. Human judgment drives the early decisions, fit, construction, formulation, starting points. No factory involved yet, no waiting. Stage 2, sample review, AI amplify. Instead of shipping, render, or digitally document, AI tools compress the review loop to 24 to 48 hours. You give feedback in a day, not after 2 weeks and 100 sticky shaking advice. Stage 3, consumer validation. It's human-led and AI-assisted. Real user funnels in region, human facilitation, AI analysis of feedback patterns, precise reformulation tweaks that cut a number of iterations needed before you have a product worth producing. Stage 4, final approval and production handoff. This is human-led. A trained operator does final QC before production starts. Not a software checklist, but a person who knows what goods look like and know where a factory will cut corners if they're not fudging. Then signs off. Stage 5, production monitoring, AI amplified. AI tools flag production anomalies, track timelines, surface quality deviations before they become a full batch problems. Human operators make the judgment calls when something needs escalation. Now, here's the honest part of this conversation. You can take the philosophy from this video and try to build it yourself. And some of you will. And over time, with the right hires and the right tech stack, you can get there. But here's what I know from working with brands at every stage. The brands at 15 million and above don't have 18 months to keep your list out. You have a growth window. You have a marketing engine that is ready to scale right now. The bottleneck is the supply chain keeping up with it. The reason Move built these studios, this testing network, this integrated AI plus human system is precisely so that brands at your level don't have to build it from scratch. You plug in, you get the infrastructure, the expertise, the technology layer, and you start compressing timelines in weeks and not quarters. More launches this year, not next year, this year. That is a competitive advantage, and the brands who access it first are the ones who own the market possession their competitors are trying each. Three things to lock in before you close this video. One, AI tools are powerful, but they are amplifiers, not operators. They need human judgment to direct them, validate their outputs, and handle the calls that data cannot make. If your supply chain strategy is we're adding AI tools without a human infrastructure underneath it, you're building on the sand. Two, the 3D high-res sample rendering is one of the most immediate, highest leverage changes you can look to your apparel and TV right now. It eliminates the sample sheeting you, compresses review cycles from weeks to hours, and gives your team in the US full visibility without ever waiting for a box. The 30% lead time reduction to drill. The math is simple. The question is why you're not big yet. Three, human-led consumer testing, supported by AI analysis, is how you know formulated products that actually land the first time. Less reformulation, fewer post-launch returns, better margins, better brand reputations. All of it comes from closing the loop before you produce, not after. The brands that win in the next 5 years in DTC are the ones who stop choosing between speed and quality. Human plus AI built as one system gives you both. And if you're sitting there thinking, I want this for my brand, that's exactly what Move is built for. Book a discover call. The link is in the description. We'll look at your current SCD timeline, identify exactly where Fang and modules are leaking, and show you specifically how Move's infrastructure would change that. No pitch deck, just a real conversation about the usage. If this gave you a new lens on how to think about Pro, subscribe. This is the content I committed to making real frameworks, real numbers, real talk about what's actually working at the brands that are still. Drop a comment. What one AI tool you're already using in your supply chain? And what's the one human step you'd never want to automate? I genuinely want to know what you're doing. Let's talk. I'm Lara. This is Smooth Supply Chain that builds something that actually scales.